Good Thursday morning. It is now 6 a.m. We begin Daybreak this hour with breaking news this morning. A train derailment in Manor has shut down the intersection of Blue Bluff Road and Old Highway 20. The road will not open back up again until 5 p.m. this evening.
Yeah, the derailment happened just after 2 o'clock this morning. Department of Public Safety says 3 rail cars overturned. The cars were carrying fertilizer and gravel.
They say the intersection there again will be closed until about 5 o'clock because they have to bring in a large crane to remove those train cars. Officials don't know a cause yet. Luckily, there were no injuries. Let's check in now with Anavid Reyes for a look at how you might want to avoid this area if it's part of your morning drive. Anavid?
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. Well, that shutdown that you're talking about is going to affect Blue Bluff Road from Old Highway 20 up to 130 Toll Road. So that stretch of road is going to be completely shut down this morning. So it's going to affect you, especially if you're trying to get to the Manor High School. So go ahead and take FM 973 up to 290. Again, 290 is going to be your best friend, especially if you're trying to go inbound. So again, FM 973, or you can also take Bastrop Street. That will lead you up to 290 and go ahead on to your commute. So that is the best way to get around this mess. It's going to affect and cause major delays this morning. Let's go ahead and look at weather with Erica Lopez.
All right, some spotty showers developing across the viewing area, mainly for our northern counties, Williamson County and also Milam County on the lower side, but we are detecting a couple of lightning strikes for this cell in particular, just west of Jones Prairie. So again, this is how this morning is going to play out. Spotty showers developing on and off throughout this morning for your morning commute. Don't be surprised if you are stuck under some heavy rainfall at times. Should quickly pass by, but no sunshine in the forecast today. Increasing rain shower chances for this afternoon to about 30% because we're going to have some individual cells that will pop up this afternoon. Some of these could be strong for your afternoon or evening commute or possibly any outdoor plans that you had potentially this afternoon. So I am tracking sunshine in the forecast for this weekend. I'll give you all the details in the full forecast. As for now, guys, back to you.
All right, thank you. 6:01 is your time. Rumors swirling in Washington after President Trump fired FBI Director James Comey. There's new information that Comey requested more resources from the Department of Justice into the Trump campaign and the Russian investigation. And this happened apparently just days before Comey was abruptly let go. ABC's Janae Norman explains what will happen next.
Less than 24 hours after firing the man leading the investigation into Russian meddling, President Trump welcomed Russia's ambassador and foreign minister to the White House. Trump laughing with the Russians in the Oval Office and then commenting on why he fired FBI Director James Comey.
Because he wasn't doing a good job, very simply. He was not doing a good job.
James Comey writing his former FBI colleagues, quote, "I'm not going to spend time on the decision or the way it was executed. I hope you won't either. It is done. I will be fine. Although I will miss you and the mission deeply." The sudden decision less than a week after the White House said the president had confidence in Comey, but now a different story.
The president had lost, again, like I said, he'd lost confidence in Director Comey, and frankly, he'd been considering letting Director Comey go since the day he was elected.
ABC News has learned just days before he was fired, Comey requested more resources from the Department of Justice for the Russia investigation. The White House implying there's nothing left to investigate.
Let's put it behind us. Let's move on.
But Comey's firing only raising more questions.
Obviously, when you have a president fire the FBI director, when there's an active investigation going on, then there are questions that need to be answered.
The White House pinning the sudden decision on how Comey handled the Clinton investigation in July of last year. But Democrats say it's not that investigation the president is worried about.
I think it's all about Russia. It's not about Hillary.
Democrats are now insisting a special prosecutor take over the Russia investigation, even postponing all Senate hearings yesterday to make a point. And now at least one Republican is considering it. Janae Norman, ABC News, Washington.
Dr. Jackson, Board of Trustees, thank you so very, very much for this great honor and privilege.
Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos got a hostile reception at a keynote address for a historically black college's graduation ceremony. She was nearly drowned out by the students at Bethune-Cookman University in Florida yesterday. Many of the graduating students turned their backs on DeVos as she gave her speech. DeVos offended many African Americans in February when she said historically black colleges are the, quote, real pioneers when it comes to school choice, end quote. After a storm of criticism, she acknowledged that these colleges were, quote, born not of choice, but out of necessity in the face of racism. Back here in Central Texas, Pflugerville police are investigating the city's first homicide in 15 years. Police say whomever shot and killed a man yesterday morning is still on the loose. This happened around 5 a.m. at the 1825 apartments east of I-35. Police found the victim lying in the parking lot. He was transported to the hospital where he later died. If you have any information, you're encouraged to call Pflugerville police. We could learn the name of the victim later today, police describing him as a man in his early 20s.
Well, KVUE has obtained exclusive new video of the moments after 4 University of Texas students were attacked on campus last week. And you can see here, we're also hearing from the man who helped police take down the accused killer. You can hear the UT-PD officer tell Kendricks White to drop the knife, a large Bowie-style weapon. You could also see the knife there on the ground. The man behind the camera then goes inside to see White on the ground getting cuffed. Yakov Leva took this video. He filmed it. He was cooking in a food truck on campus when he heard panicked people turn around, and then he saw White stab the 4th victim right in front of their truck. That's when, instead of running or hiding, he jumped out of the truck and followed White.
He didn't have a facial expression, like he was emotionless. He didn't seem like he was sorry for what he had done. He seemed like it was something normal, like, oh well, like, you know, I did what I was doing and that was it, you know. He was just blank, and that bugged me a lot.
For a full look at that entire exclusive video, to see more of it, check our website, KVUE.com.
Freshman UT student Harrison Brown died in that attack. According to court documents, White stabbed Brown in the chest. 3 other students were injured in the attack. They've all now been released from the hospital. Meantime, Kendricks White's parents are devastated about the attack. Kenneth and Shantina White spoke exclusively to KVUE and the Austin American-Statesman. Tony Plahetsky sat down with them and asks what they think happened to their son. That exclusive interview coming up in a bit right here on Daybreak.
Happening today, the Texas Senate will hold a public hearing on a transportation measure. House Bill 100 would regulate ride-sharing companies across the state. KVUE's Corey Coffin joins us live this morning to break it all down for us. Corey.
Well, good morning to you, Yvonne. This bill was highly anticipated at the beginning of the legislative session because companies like Uber and Lyft promised to tackle state law when they left Austin. Now, this bill would supersede Austin's current ordinance, which requires drivers to have fingerprint background checks. So if that ordinance is superseded, that would allow Uber and Lyft to operate in Austin without fingerprint background checks. That's something they originally asked voters to back them on last year, despite spending $10 million on the campaign versus the opposition's $180,000. Uber and Lyft ended up not getting the votes it needed. The ride-sharing giants made good on their promise to leave the city and take the fight to the state. That left a need in Austin that several other companies filled, employing those drivers.
They're going to take a hit. I mean, if you look at the online discussion with all the drivers are now with Ride Austin, Fair, and Fasten, there's a sentiment that they don't want Uber back, right? Because Uber has a tendency to lower rates to such a low level where it's not profitable.
Companies like Ride Austin are offering to continue fingerprint background checks even if state law doesn't end up requiring it, because they say that's what Austin voters wanted. And when asked about the latest development, council members here in Austin say it's just too soon to comment, but they will say they're concerned about the Department of Justice's criminal investigation into Uber. Meanwhile, the Senate will take up a vote today on House Bill 100, and we'll be covering that on air and online. Live near downtown Austin, I'm Corey Coffin for KVUE News.
Corey, thank you. A big concern this morning after multiple BMW owners say their parked cars are catching on fire. An ABC News investigation looking into dozens of reports. They uncovered 42 cases nationwide where investigators were unable to determine what caused it to happen. All the cars in the investigation had no previous fire-related recalls. ABC News has sent their findings to the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
6:09, the West Mims fire in Georgia has spread to 144,000 acres, growing another 3,500 acres since Tuesday. And this is a video that the Georgia Forestry Commission posted to their Facebook page. The entire southern half of Charlton County is under mandatory evacuation. They say with current winds It's way too hard to make any predictions about when they could put it out. And right now, it's only about 12% contained. Having a rough time over there. Here, we're having possibilities of rain. It's quite the opposite.
Yeah, that's right. The atmosphere is very, very saturated here. We're talking dew points still in the upper 60s, 70s even. That's helping us develop some of these rain shower chances for the forecast. But right now, the majority of the heavy rainfall is just to the west of us. Here's what's going on in our viewing area right now. Temperatures hovering the 70-degree mark, where I am tracking some spotty showers that have developed. I've been in Williamson County and Milam County. So moderate rainfall seen here in the area shaded in yellow. That's what's being detected on our radar. And these showers are traveling to the north and the east. So Cameron, you'll have some decent rainfall headed your way in just about 5-10 minutes or so. This afternoon, this is what our severe weather outlook is like. Marginal risk, so that's our lowest category when we're talking about severe weather threat. The good news is that the majority of the severe weather will be just to the north and east of us. So we should be out of the majority of the stronger storms, but keep in mind 1 or 2 storms could be strong at times for your afternoon and evening commute. Here's what the next 12 hours should pan out like. Lots of clouds out there. We should have, again, about a 20% chance of an isolated shower this morning, increasing to 30 by this afternoon. Some of the showers could be strong at times. Guys, back to you.
All right, thank you so much. Well, according to the 2017 U.S. News and World Report, Austin is home to some of the best high schools in the nation.
That's right. Over 22,000 public high schools were evaluated. 7 Austin area schools fell in the top 300. Westwood at 282. At 280 was Vandergrift. Westlake Academy at 253. Westlake High School at 245. And here in Austin, the Ann Richards School at 117. KIPP Austin Collegiate at 116. And all the way up at number 27, the Liberal Arts and Science Academy. For a complete list, head to KVUE.com.
That's quite the honor, right?
Smart young kids there.
Well, there's a new scam targeting a local community.
What Williamson County officials want you to know before you take a phone call from a stranger.
Plus, the parents of the UT student accused of going on a stabbing rampage on campus are sharing their story.
You know, it's like, this is a bad dream. This is not happening.
What they're describing about their son's behavior days before the attack and the message they're sending out to all parents.
Beautiful historic monuments, and a lot of this people are against it, are either not from here originally and don't understand our culture, and a lot of people even from here don't know their history.
This is taking place in Louisiana as we speak, happening right now. In fact, crews taking down a Jefferson Davis monument in New Orleans, one of 4 Confederate statues the mayor of New Orleans wants gone. As you heard, some aren't happy about it, some protesting the removal, in fact. The city began the process of removing the monuments back in 2015, but court documents and court challenges kept it from happening.
An East Texas family is looking to rebuild after a tornado destroyed their home. Stacy Buck was at her house in Canton with her 12-year-old daughter and 84-year-old father when the storm blew through, lifting up the house with the family in it and dropping them back to the ground seconds later amid the debris of what was once their home. Buck was shooting video on her cell phone as the storm got closer. She told her father to move away from the window, and next thing they knew, they were airborne.
She was hollering and screaming at me, and I was just telling her to pray, just pray, just pray. And then the next thing I know, I could feel her. I feel my arms, I could feel her being pulled from me. And she's reaching for me. And she was, oh my God, I can't believe this. And she was hollering for me, and I just told her to keep praying, keep praying, keep praying.
Oh my goodness.
We walked out alive.
Well, the family had some injuries, but they're just happy to be alive. Wow, you could just see the pain and the fright on their faces.
Difficult situation there. Someone pretending to be a Williamson County Sheriff's deputy calling people and trying to scam them out of cash. According to the reports, the caller told a victim they had an outstanding warrant and told them to purchase $2,500 worth of gift cards to avoid jail time. The victim handed over the cash. The number the fraudulent caller used is here on the screen. The sheriff's office says they do not and will not call anyone with outstanding warrants.
6:17 is your time, and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is considering a White House run in 2020. The actor and former pro wrestler tells GQ that he thinks a presidential run is a real possibility. He says if he were president, poise and leadership would be top priorities. Johnson declined to give an endorsement in the last presidential election, saying he didn't want to sway anyone's opinion. Before you chuckle at that, you just have to think, well,
I chuckled a long time ago.
Anything's possible.
His slogan is going to be, "Can you smell what President Rock is cooking?"
Yeah.
You remember that from wrestling?
Yeah, and I'm trying to do like the eyebrow thing that he does.
I can't do that either.
I don't know.
At this rate, Brian, you're next.
Yeah.
Might as well.
I don't want any part of that mess.
All right. Well, hey, the weather is going to be a little bit messy this morning. We're already seeing some spotty showers develop across our viewing area, but the majority of the heavy rain just to the west of us, and some of those storms have been severe. Notice the line of showers and thunderstorms from Dallas all the way to Val Verde County. Some pinks showing up on the radars. That's heavy rainfall, very possibly some hail that we've spotted. Here's what our viewing area is seeing right now. Temperatures in the 70s for the eastern counties, 60s for the hill country. But it's been Williamson and Milam County that have been the busiest. The cell currently over Cameron, moving to the north and the east. So should be out of your area very, very quickly. But again, we have some showers that are redeveloping with each scan as that continues to push through the area. So this is what this morning is going to play out like. Spotty showers possible to redevelop anywhere from a 20 to 30% chance this morning. Then I think our best chance of seeing a possibly strong storm will be in the afternoon, as some thunderstorm activity could appear also for this anywhere from about 1 p.m. to about 7 p.m. Temperatures in the 80s for your afternoon daytime high forecast. So temperatures will be on the cooler side because of all the cloud coverage. We haven't seen much in the form of sunshine at all, but that is going to change as we fast forward into tomorrow. Here's what hour by hour is going to play out like. Lots of spotty showers this morning. This afternoon, it's the individual cells that we'll be worried about. Some of these could be stronger at times. Again, with daytime heating, we'll have a little bit more instability in the atmosphere. And then overnight, all of this moisture is going to clear out. It's going to push down further to the south. We'll have a northeast wind settled in. That's going to bring in a dry air mass for the rest of the weekend. It's going to be quite nice because we'll talk humidity levels on the low side, anywhere from 40 to 50 degree humidity or dew points in the forecast this weekend. But let's just get through today. 30% chance of a shower or a possible thunderstorm. A southeast wind anywhere from 5 to 15 miles an hour is what you guys can expect. Mold will be in the high category. Keep yourself up to date every single day in the Statesman. So one last day of rain and then lots of sunshine just in time for the weekend. Next chance of rain next week will be by Tuesday. Turning things over to Anna V. Reyes. She has the latest on traffic.
Thank you, Erica. Well, we're going to start off with a live look at the aftermath after a train derailed in Manor. Roads are closed this morning. Blue Bluff Road will be closed from Old Highway 20 up to the 130 toll road. So that stretch of road is going to affect you this morning, causing major delays, especially if you're trying to get to the Manor High School. Again, 3 train cars fell off the train tracks this morning. And go ahead and take a look at this. All of this red, this is Blue Bluff Road. This is going to be shut down until this evening. So go ahead and take FM 973 up to 290. 290 is your best bet this morning to avoid this mess. Guys, back to you.
Thanks, Anna V. A new Ticketmaster feature gives people a sneak peek at the seats they buy.
And online realty giant, not reality, realty giant Zillow is facing a lawsuit over its Zestimate tool. Oh, I've used that before. ABC's Diane Macedo and Kenneth Bowden explain why homeowners are upset about the feature that estimates the value of their homes.
In today's Tech Bites, the lawsuit against online real estate site Zillow.
An Illinois homeowner claims a Zestimate tool, which estimates how much the property is worth, has repeatedly undervalued her home. She wants Zillow to remove or modify its assessment of her property.
Snapchat's parent company has lost more than $2 billion just between January and March. That is twice as much money as the company lost last year.
Snap's new quarterly report also says user growth is slowing as it competes for users with video features on Facebook.
And Ticketmaster is now offering customers an exact view of what it'll look like from your seat at more than 100 venues.
The virtual venue technology provides a realistic 3D sneak peek at where you'll sit. The feature is available on Ticketmaster's website and on its mobile app.
Yeah, but can they tell you if someone with a really giant head or really tall is in front of you?
They cannot do that for you.
Those are your Tech Bites.
Have a great day.
Well, keep your umbrella handy this morning. Patchy drizzle, possibly a concern as you're heading out the door. Maybe some isolated showers. Better chance of showers by this afternoon, increasing to 30% chance, where some of these isolated storms could be stronger at times. Temperatures will remain in the lower 80s this afternoon, so lots of clouds in the forecast. That still gives us a UV index in the high category. Keep that in mind. Don't forget the sunscreen as you're heading out the door. We are tracking sunshine in store by this weekend. I'll talk about it in the full forecast. Back to you.
Erica, thanks. It has now been 10 days since the violent and deadly knife attack on the UT campus. Freshman Harrison Brown was killed and 3 others were injured in the attack. This morning we're hearing from the suspect's parents.
I don't even know how to put it into words. This is not the child that we know.
Kenneth and Shantina White are still trying to understand how their son, Kendrix White, went from being a high school scholar to an accused killer. They say they noticed something was wrong after his DWI arrest last month.
Just wasn't himself. You know, you asked him a question and the answer was just erratic. There was no reasoning to his answer.
They took their son to the emergency room. That led to his involuntary commitment into a psychiatric ward and numerous neurological tests. The Whites say they're devastated and heartbroken about the attack for their son, Kendrix White, and for the people he's accused of stabbing. Kendrix White still in the Travis County Jail this morning. The 21-year-old has been formally charged with murder. He's being held on $1 million bond. According to arrest documents, White told police he didn't remember what happened that afternoon on the UT campus. Still ahead, a foiled attack on a high school. This morning, how officers found out about the plan and the shocking items discovered in the accused backpack.
Welcome back, everybody. Take a look at this. We're going to start off with a live view of the aftermath of earlier this morning, the trail derailment that happened over on Old Highway 20 and Blue Bluff Road. Now, Blue Bluff Road is completely shut down right this minute due to a crane being delivered over here trying to clear this mess out. Now, again, this is Old Highway 20 up to the 130 toll road. All of that road you see right here will be shut down. So what I recommend for you to do this morning is to take FM 973 up to 290. That will be your best friend this morning. Best bet to get to that Manor High School and avoid this mess. As the morning progresses, as rush hour progresses, this will cause major traffic delays this morning. So again, FM 973 up to 290 this morning to avoid the traffic area here on 130 and Old Highway 20. Let's talk about weather with Erica Lopez. What can we expect?
Well, we're seeing some spotty showers develop here this morning, and we've been monitoring this line of showers and thunderstorms for Dallas all the way down to Val Verde County. But for us here in central Texas, isolated spotty showers are beginning to pop up. Notice one just south of LaGrange, one now firing up just southwest of Llano. That's heading to the north and east. So Llano, you could have a decent amount of rain shower activity headed your way. That's just moderate rain that we're picking up on radar. And then also one last cell still picking up on Milam County also. We've had several cells for them in the last 30 to 45 minutes or so. They're moving to the north and the east. So again, this is kind of how the morning trend is going to be. Isolated cells popping up. They'll last very quickly. They'll move out of your viewing area, and then we'll have still some rain shower chances for this afternoon. A 30% chance of possibly some storms this evening. Guys, back to you.
All right, Erica, thanks a lot. Just a quick update on that situation in Manor with the train derailment. We've learned that there will be a bus that travels that route that will be delayed about 10 minutes this morning. So if you live there and you're watching us from the Blue Bluff Road, Old Highway 20 area, the bus will be running about 10 minutes late today. So just keep that in mind as you head to Manor schools this morning. We have learned this morning that former FBI Director James Comey had asked for more money and resources to pursue the investigation into Russia's involvement in the presidential election. The White House is denying there's now any link between that and those requests and Comey's firing. So will the investigation continue? Yesterday, Russian President Vladimir Putin said Russia has had nothing to do with this situation and Comey's firing, adding to the White House concerns this week new indications that the investigation may have expanded to include Trump's businesses and personal finances.
General Clapper, during your investigation of all things Russia, did you ever find a situation where a Trump business interests in Russia gave you concern?
Senator Graham, I can't comment on that because that impacts investigation.
Officials say FBI agents are also focused on former Security Advisor General Mike Flynn, Trump's former campaign manager Paul Manafort, longtime Trump friend Roger Stone, and his former foreign policy advisor Carter Page. All have denied any wrongdoing. Yesterday, the Senate Intelligence Committee formally subpoenaed Flynn. The subpoena requests documents relevant to the investigation.
634, a Round Rock boy who passed away from brain cancer is inspiring a bill in the Texas legislature. 7-year-old Brock Fleming died in December after a 7-month battle with a rare and inoperable brain tumor. After hearing about Brock's battle, a Round Rock representative decided to file House Bill 2986, which would raise awareness for the disease on May 17th. It was voted out of committee last week and now heads to the House for a vote. It's a bill his family is fighting for after their devastating loss.
I heard a breath and then I didn't hear a breath, but I had to get through it. And I don't think mentally I was ready to know that he was gone.
Your heart goes out to the mom. You know, when Brock was still alive, his family started Team Brock to raise money for treatments and research for the disease. They continue to host fundraising events in his honor. On Friday, there's a golf tournament to raise money to go towards the cure starts now. For information on this fundraiser and Team Brock, if you'd like to help out, click on this full story on KVUE.com.
All new this morning, a North Carolina teenager could be facing charges after police say they spoiled the teen's plan to attack his high school. Police say they found knives, firecrackers, gasoline, and a hit list in a book bag. Authorities say he'd planned to stab up to a dozen students yesterday.
I mean, who knows who was on that list that the person made? I mean, it could have been me, could have been my closest friend.
He had students that he wanted to harm. Some of them were in that classroom.
Police were tipped off by authorities in Canada who learned of the plot from a Canadian girl who was in an internet chat room and saw the teenager discussing his plans. Police say the teen is in a secure location and getting counseling. He's not been charged with a crime yet.
10 people are behind bars this morning after a massive drug bust in Cedar Park. Look at this haul. During a 7-month investigation, Cedar Park police seized $250,000 worth of drugs, including 230 prescription pills, 6 bottles of prescription syrup, 64 pounds of marijuana, and 273 grams of cocaine. They also seized almost $200,000 in drug profits, 3 pistols, and 7 assault rifles.
An anonymous person urging students in the Killeen Independent School District to fight their peers on and off campus for the rest of the school year. Take a look. The flyer was posted online encouraging students to fight anyone, anywhere, at any time, every Friday until school's out. The flyer surfaced on Facebook and Instagram yesterday morning and already has plenty of students and their parents concerned. One student says her friend was already assaulted.
And like she just got jumped for nothing, and like it's scary because you never know what's going to happen.
Since this flyer's going out, now kids are afraid to come to school, so they'd rather stay home.
Now the flyer even says to come dressed appropriately in Timberland boots with your hair pulled back. The district's currently investigating. The Killeen police chief says there will be extra patrols around the high schools just in case. Sports news, Spurs could be moving on to the Western Conference Finals tonight if they're able to finish off their series with the Rockets. With a win, San Antonio would move on to the next round to play the Golden State Warriors. If the Rockets win, the series will move back to San Antonio for Game 7 coming up on Sunday afternoon. Tip-off for tonight's game is at 7 p.m. Sunday's game will be on KVUE if we get to Game 7, so that'll be fun. Today, the oldest known veteran in the nation. There he is, Richard Overton, celebrating his 111th birthday. The University of Austin Club will hold a celebration from 11 to 1 today, and from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. they're going to have a block party. It'll take place right on his street, Richard Overton Avenue, in his East Austin neighborhood. He will celebrate his birthday listening to R&B, drinking a little whiskey, and maybe smoking his favorite cigars.
I can get a cigar, I'll be happy. I've been smoking this since I was 18 years old.
He still looks great. That was his 110th birthday last year, by the way. The Austinite served in the U.S. Army from 1942 to 1945, of course, during World War II. We wish him a happy birthday today.
He looks like a cool dude. Like, he's just chill.
Hey,
he's cool, smoking his cigar.
He's listening to R&B, drinking whiskey, and smoking cigars. What's not to like about that?
We all want to be friends with him.
That's right. We're friends with Erica, too. At least on most days. Today, Erica, a lot of rain to talk about.
Today your friendship is iffy.
We're not so friendly today, Erica.
All right, well, let's just wait till tomorrow. You'll be my friend tomorrow. Today, we are tracking some isolated showers firing up this morning. Very spotty. Lots of clouds out there. It's gloomy. It's humid. Low-level moisture just impacting our region. Dew points are in the upper 60s. Winds are calm. Temperatures in the 70s or upper 60s for the most part. So notice you see a lot of speckles of greens, yellows, even some oranges firing up. These are isolated cells that I mentioned, and it's kind of the pattern that will battle this morning. So one moving out of Milam County, another cell just south of Grange. These cells are moving to the north and the east. So Ammonsville is going to be a very brief shower passing through your region. But again, these will be on and off for this morning, your morning commute. Just don't be surprised if you do get stuck under some moderate rainfall to heavy rainfall at times. This afternoon, we're increasing that shower chance to a possible thunderstorm by 30% for your lunchtime plans and your evening commute. Now, I am tracking sun back in the forecast, so hopefully I'll have some more friends in my forecast also as we get to the weekend. Guys, back to you.
Now, what y'all wanna do? Wanna be ballers, shot callers.
For a second, I thought that was Richard Overton's birthday party. We had a live Facebook feed or something. I didn't know.
He's having a good time out there.
I didn't know what that was. Still all about the Benjamins for Sean Diddy Combs. He remains at the top of the Forbes list of the world's wealthiest hip-hop artists.
His fortune is estimated at $820 million, thanks in large part to his Sean John clothing line. Forbes says Jay-Z is right behind with an estimated net worth of $810 million. What a slacker, 810.
Slacker,
that's not enough. Now remember that Jay-Z is one of the headliners for ACL this year. Tickets are still on sale. For more information on who else is coming to Austin for ACL, head to our website, KVUE.com. I have a feeling he's a fan of Sean Combs.
Who's that?
Overton.
Richard Overton? Oh, I bet he is.
If he likes R&B, then, right?
What's not to like?
Well, we're continuing our Authentic Austin series today. That's a whole different kind of music.
That's right.
I just kind of live my dream, and I get to do exactly what I want to do, and people let me live that dream.
It's one of the best places in Austin and Central Texas. They've hosted multiple country music legends, a real down-to-earth honky-tonk that'll get you on your feet. An inside look at what makes the Broken Spoke so special. That's right around the corner.
Welcome back. 6:44 is your time. Here are some of today's top stories. A train derailment in Manor has shut down the intersection of Blue Bluff Road and Old Highway 20, and the road won't open back up until 5 o'clock tonight. The derailment happened just after 2 o'clock this morning. You're looking at live pictures here of the scene. Department of Public Safety says 3 rail cars overturned. The cars were carrying fertilizer and gravel. They said the intersection will be closed until late this evening, and here's why. They have to bring in a large crane to remove those train cars. That's going to take some time. Officials do not know a cause. There were no injuries. Later today, the Department of Homeland Security will announce a ban on laptops on U.S.-bound flights from Europe. The ban comes after authorities discovered TSA's screen could miss explosives planted in laptops. If you have to bring a laptop for work, it will now have to be in your checked bag. A ban like this already exists on flights from 8 countries in the Middle East and Africa.
Time for Authentic Austin. You know, it's not hard to find live music venues in Austin, but it is hard to find one with the history of Antone's. They're open 7 days a week till 2 a.m. with some of the best music you can find in Austin. Antone's has been around for more than 40 years. The venue prides itself as Austin's home of the blues. Some of the best blues musicians in the world have been on the stage, including, back in the day, the great Stevie Ray Vaughan. No matter the night, you'll always find good music at Antone's. To check the schedule, you can visit their website. It's a good one, AntonsNightclub.com, or just head out to 305 East 5th Street. You'll be able to hear the music. How about the Elephant Room? It's on Congress. Another great place in Austin to hear some live music every single day. If you don't believe me, just check out their schedule at elephantroom.com. It's been around since '91, hosting some of the hottest jazz acts around. No cover charge most weeknights and a small charge on the weekends. If jazz is your thing, the Elephant Room is the place. Again, you can find that at 315 Congress Avenue. Great music. You know, it would take a long time to list the businesses that have opened in Austin since 1964. But it wouldn't take long to list the businesses that have been open in Austin since 1964. There have been movies shot in the building, a documentary made about the building. There's also a new book about the owner, a man with a great story to tell.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this time I want to welcome y'all to Broken Slow, the last of the true Dixie dance halls.
There aren't many honky-tonk owners that can say the best-selling artist of all time requested to play in their honky-tonk. But this spring, that happened to James White when Garth Brooks called the Broken Spoke.
Thank you very much.
Garth Brooks, when he came here, that was his idea to come here. He wanted to come in a real honky-tonk, and he had heard about the Broken Spoke.
Garth knows what people all around the world know about what the New York Times called the best honky-tonk of all time. This was the vision of a 25-year-old young man who was just finishing his service in the Army 52 years ago.
There's no blueprints of the Broken Spoke. Never been a blueprint of the Broken Spoke. I built it the way I wanted to. I had a bunch of people I grew up with, and they was older than I was, but they were carpenters, electricians, concrete workers, and they just chipped in. When I built it, there wasn't another building in sight. This land right here where we're sitting was like a cow pasture. And anyway, I think it had a couple of horses on it, you know.
Those horses, they've been replaced by roads, cars, and buildings. But White and the Broken Spoke are still going strong. Not bad for a honky-tonk owner that could only pay the early acts he booked $35 on a Saturday night.
I had enough money to buy 5 cases of beer, and I had to start. And within 5 cases, I sold them. I bought 10 cases, and that's how I progressed. Hey, I had 2 cigar boxes. I didn't even have a cash register.
There is a cash register now, one which James White still stands by proudly near the door to greet those who come in for a good time.
I just kind of live my dream, and I get to do exactly what I want to do, and people let me live that dream. I wrote a song, it's called The Broken Spoke Legend, and in one of the verses, with hammers and nails, they built it with Texas style on their mind. And after so many years of business, it's still one of a kind.
The pictures of all of the legends are hanging up on the wall.
Songwriter, businessman, entertainer, cook, James White does it all. What he doesn't like to do is change things, which is why his parking lot still isn't paved.
I tell him, I said, you know, we're kind of like the Alamo. We've got apartments all around us in big buildings, but when you get right here, you look around, you can't see the apartments. You're at a dance hall. You're in the best honky-tonk in Texas, and that's the feel they get.
If these walls could talk, they could tell you about Dolly Parton, Willie Nelson and Chris Christopherson, Robert Duvall, even Clint Eastwood. But the heart of their story would be the heart of this honky-tonk, an Austinite with a vision and a dream that's still coming true.
What's that old saying? It might be ragged, but it's right, you know?
I like that.
And it's ragged, but it's right.
I tell you what, welcome tonight. Y'all have a good time right here at the Broken Spoke.
Nice guy, he seems.
I like his shirts. I got to get some shirts like he has.
You need to. Bedazzle it, Brian. Bedazzle it.
He's the best. He's the best. Coming up tomorrow, our Authentic Austin series comes to a close with Austin artists. These folks help make our streets and buildings unique and beautiful. Look at those. We'll hear from them and take a look at some of the great murals. There's Prince himself around town. That's tomorrow on Daybreak. You can check out the rest of our Authentic Austin series on our website. That, of course, is KVUE.com.
I'm looking forward to that mural piece as well because there are so many.
You drive around and you see them. You don't think about
you don't
the
think
time and effort it goes into making them.
Well, speaking of, we need to go country line dancing
Let's
because,
do it.
oh my goodness, right? It seems like fun. I'm in.
The Broken Spoke's a place to go. I bet Mr. White will have us out sometime.
I think it would be fun. All right, let's take a look at your weather. Probably not so fun, but maybe you can be indoors and maybe enjoy some line dancing because we are tracking some rain shower chances. For your forecast, actually some heavy rain just to the west of us. Isolated storms firing up this morning across our viewing area, though. Some of these cells are actually dumping some moderate rain for our eastern counties and also hill country counties. Check out this cell just north of Llano, though. It did pass through Llano just moments ago. Now, if you're traveling along 16 possibly or 29, some heavy rain you could be spotted under for just a brief moment. So again, these are isolated and very fast moving cells coming in from the south, moving to the north and the east. LaGrange is another area where we have a cell just to the west of you guys. This one might have some heavier rain with it just south of Lake Fayette. You're going to be next in terms of battling some rain shower activity this morning. But again, very brief, but this is kind of going to be the pattern for this morning. Don't be alarmed if you're stuck under one of these isolated cells this morning. Lots of mugginess out there. Dew points are in the upper 60s yet again, just under the 70-degree mark. Temperatures in the lower 70s. A calm wind to kick off your morning. Here's how today's going to play out. We're calling it a 20% chance for isolated cells this morning. Now, by this afternoon into the evening, some of these storms could be stronger at times than individual cells. So this is what we're monitoring, a marginal risk for some potentially severe weather this afternoon. Very, very low threat. I don't even want to say severe, more like a strong threat of some storms out there. Mold is expected to be in the high category, grass in the medium category. You can keep yourself up to date every single day in the Statesman. So here's how the next 7 days are going to play out. You're going to love the forecast for this weekend after today, where we have those chance of storms. A weak front is going to pass through us overnight. That will not drop our temperatures down, but what it is going to do is drop the humidity levels, push all the clouds out of our viewing area, and give us lots of sunshine for Mother's Day weekend. Turning things over to Ana V. Reyes. She has the latest on traffic this morning.
Yes, thank you, Erica. Busy morning. This is a live look. This is what you're seeing is the aftermath of the train derailment that happened earlier this morning. 2 train cars fell off the tracks, causing major delays. Let's go ahead and get a look at your map here. This is exactly where it happened. Blue Bluff Road at Old Highway 20. That's where the train derailment happened. But as a result, Blue Bluff Road up to 130 will be shut down this morning. So go ahead and take FM 973 to 290. So very busy morning in Maine. Let's go ahead and take a look at this accident. This just popped up. This is a rollover crash at Lexington at 290. So this area, you can already start seeing some orange and red major backups in this area. So a lot to look out for in Maynard. Let's go ahead and talk a little bit more daybreak and weather after this break. All right, this is the aftermath of the train derailment that happened this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at the map so you can see exactly where it happened. This is on Old Highway 20. The Blue Bluff Road will be shut down completely up to a 130 toll road. So if you're trying to get around in that area, use FM 973 up to 290 to get around this mess this morning. All right, Erica, how does weather shape up?
Spotty showers for your morning commute. We're already seeing some cells develop for the eastern counties and the hill country. Keep in mind an isolated storm is possible this afternoon. Sun arrives tomorrow.
Yay!